Dito muna. Selfie ka naman.
Mag-selfie na lang. Wala na akong talaga, naka-plaster tayo nga ng phone. Ay, andito na si Kuya. Tamba na. Ang galing naman. Nalpastan din?
So, all right. So first of all, let us understand the village or city of BETHSAIDA, and I would like to give you some biblical text to give you some details or information regarding this wonderful and amazing city of BETHSAIDA. So, by the way, first thing that you need to learn in the Old Testament time, this is known as Geshur, not BETHSAIDA. Geshur is the Old Testament name, and in the New Testament time, during the account of the Lord Jesus Christ, this is better known as BETHSAIDA. Now, how do we know that this is Geshur? So we can trace that back in 2 Samuel chapter 3, verse 3, 2 Samuel 3 and verse 3. So listen good mga kapatid, sabi dito. And his second Gilead, let me begin in verse 1. Now there was long war between the house of Saul and the house of David, but David waxed stronger and stronger, and the house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker and weaker. And unto David were sons born in Hebron, and his firstborn was Amnon of Ahinoam, the Jezreelites. So alam niyo yung Jezreel Valley? So that's the place of the first, what is this? The matter of Amnon, the first son of David. And his second, Chileab of Abigail, the wife of Nabal, the Carmelite. Yung dinaan natin kaninang madaling araw pa, yung Carmel Mountain. And then thirdly, Absalom, the son of Maacah, the daughter of Talmai, king of Geshur. So this city or village, this is very important, especially in the time of King David, the great king of Israel. Why? Because one of his wives is the son of the king of this place. This is Geshur. And listen good mga kapatid, you know, the son of David and his daughter to the daughter of the king of this place is Absalom. And Absalom is the most handsome man ever lived in the land of Israel. Sana all, guwapo. And what else? Another interesting thing, okay? Since Absalom is so handsome, his sister is so beautiful that even Amnon, the first son of David, have a lustful desire to his half-sister. And yeah, so nagkaroon ng drama. Okay, Slika, Veronica, okay? So, he has a friend and they made some tricks. And the friend of Amnon advised him, make some drama na may sakit ka. And then after 3 days, you ask your father David and request unto your father to send your sister-in-law to take good care of you, to cook meat and cake for you, but they have an evil plan. And what is that? To rape Tamar. The name of the woman is Tamar. So Amnon raped Tamar, and then later on, fast forward tayo, there was a great shame to Tamar, and Absalom was so silent, and he made a great plan how to avenge his sister. So later on, Absalom made a feast for all the sons of David, and with this feast, they put something to the wine of Amnon, and nahilo siya kaagad. And nung mahilo na si Amnon, they do the plan and they murdered Amnon as a revenge for what he did to the sister of Absalom. So Absalom is the most handsome man in the land of Israel, and we can say that her sister Tamar, and we have Tamara. Okay. She is so beautiful. That's why Amnon lasted after her. So after na patayin ni Absalom si Amnon, anong ginawa niya? He went here in Geshur and he stayed here for almost 3 years until such time na humupal na yung anger, yung galit ni David at nakabalik na doon si Absalom sa Jerusalem. And later on si Absalom gumawa ng pag-aakla sa kanyang ama. Gusto niyang i-overthrow si David and then nagkaroon ng battle, tumakas si Absalom, sumabit sa isang sanga ng puno and yun yung naging cause ng kanyang kamatayan plus yung sinibat siya ng isa sa mga soldiers ni David. So that's the story. That's the Old Testament story or significance of this place, Geshur. Now let's go now to the New Testament narrative. So I don't know when was the time the name was changed into BETHSAIDA. Okay? But BETHSAIDA means the house of hunter. Okay, what is that? Okay, it came from the two Hebrew word beit, which means house. We are familiar with the word beit, so it stands for house. And the word saida, the root word is said, which means hunter. So basically, since this is very close to the Sea of Galilee, they are not the hunter of animals, but the hunter of fishes. So in other words, this is the house of the fisherman. Okay, so did you get the logic? So from the word BETHSAIDA, bait, house, and saida from the root word said, which means a hunter. So connect these two words, you get the word house of hunter, but basically not of wild animals, but of the fishes in the Sea of Galilee. So this is the village or the house of fishermen, and we can believe this this analogy because Simon Peter, Andrew, and Philip, this is the birthplace of the three distinct apostles of the Lord Jesus Christ. So that's why if you're going to read the information there, you can read that Philip, Peter, and Andrew was born in this place. That's why there's a discovery somewhere in this area referring that this is the ancient house of Simon Peter and the Lord Jesus Christ lived in that house. Okay, now where's the text that says Simon Peter and some of the apostles, the other two apostles live in this area? Okay, so let's go in Matthew, okay, in John chapter 1 verse 44. Ayan, mahirap kapag maraming text, ano? John chapter 1 and then verse 44 and 45. Ito yung sabi ng salita ng Diyos. Okay, okay. 43, the day following Jesus would go forth into Galilee and findeth Philip and said unto him, follow me. Now listen to this, verse 44. Now Philip was of BETHSAIDA. Philip was of BETHSAIDA, the city of Andrew and Peter. So these three disciples or apostles of the Lord Jesus Christ was born here in BETHSAIDA. This is their village. And they grew up in this village until they became a professional fishermen there in the Sea of Galilee, until the time that the Lord Jesus Christ called them along the shores of the Sea of Galilee. So that's the story of this three characters within the apostle circle of the Lord Jesus Christ. Another interesting story that happened here in BETHSAIDA is the healing of a blind person. Where is that? In Mark chapter 8, verse 22 to 25, 4 verses lang, basahin natin. Mark chapter 8, verse 22. Okay, are you still there mga kapatid? Pinapahirapan kasi ako ni Veronica. It's okay, everybody is American here. Okay, now listen to this. Another wonderful story that happened here in BETHSAIDA. Mark 8, 22 to 25. And he cometh to BETHSAIDA, and they bring a blind man unto him and besought him to touch him. So hihipuin niya lang yung blind person ito. And he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the town. And when he had spit on his eyes and put his hands upon him, he asked him if he saw aught. Nakita ninyo kung ano ginawa ng Panginoon sa Kristo? Dumura ang Panginoon sa Kristo at inalagay doon sa kanyang mata, because he is blind. Okay, and then he asked him kung may nakikita na siya, and the guy responded, and he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking. After that, he put his hands again upon his eyes. So God put again his hands on the eyes of the blind man and made him look up, And he was restored and saw every man clearly. And he sent him away to his house, saying, neither go into the town nor tell it to any in the town. So that's the story of the healing of the blind person here in BETHSAIDA. Now maybe you are confused, Pastor, why the Lord Jesus Christ told the blind man not to tell what happened to him? That's very interesting question. If you're going to look back to some other stories of the Lord Jesus Christ in other villages and cities, all the more that they saw the Lord Jesus Christ performing healings and miracles, the religious leaders all the more became angry with him. All the more na nagiging bitter sila sa Panginoon Kristo. And all the more na nag-increase yung kanilang unbelief sa Panginoon Kristo. And they continue to accuse the Lord Jesus Christ of blasphemy with God. So that's one of the reasons. Okay? But the good thing is, mga kapatid, we saw that Jesus Christ is a powerful God. A lot of people doesn't believe in Him as God, but only God can do this thing. And if you're going to consult the literature of the Jews, all the miracles that Jesus did, they just say it is only magic. Fiction. It's only magic. They don't believe. That's why there was a time that the Lord Jesus Christ praises the Gentiles than the Jews. Why? Because the Gentiles, they easily believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, whereas His countrymen, they are always doubtful of Him, even in His miracles. So, nung ina-appreciate ng Panginoong Kristo yung mga Gentiles, lalo na naman silang nagalit sa Panginoong Kristo. Hindi mo talaga maintindihan yung isip ng mga Jew. And then, kaya pala nun, may kasabihin tayo, Hudyo ka talaga. Hudyo ka. Yung lolo ko, ganyan. And then, last two story mga kapatid, okay? Ito, isasummarize ko na lang, I'm not going to read this kasi this is a longer story. But, according to the geographers and Bible scholars, the miracle of the feeding of 5,000 men happened somewhere in this area. So there is another story in Paduga. They said it happened there. But most of the Bible scholars, they agreed that the area of this place, BETHSAIDA, and also it was mentioned in the text, BETHSAIDA, the word was mentioned. That's why they believe the 5,000 men, the feeding of 5,000 men happened in this place, in this area. And who shared that few pieces of bread and fishes? The young boy. The young boy. Among all the 5,000 people, and listen good and listen well. You know what? That is not only 5,000. Because the 5,000 is only men. But they have with them their wives, their children coming along with them. That's why according to the Bible scholars, most probably around 20,000 people are following the Lord Jesus Christ. Around 20,000 was fed in that very moment when the Lord Jesus Christ made the miracle of fish and bread in this place. So mga kapatid, among all around 20,000 people, it was only that boy who shared his food for the people. Alam niyo kung ano maganda roon? When you give something to the Lord Jesus Christ, it will never be wasted, and the blessing will return more than what you give, mga kapatid. Alam nyo, the Bible is teaching us a wise principle. When you give, you are more blessed than when you are receiving. That's the principle of the Bible. Kaya all the more natiklop yung palad mo sa pagbibigay sa kapwa mo, wala na pagbuhos ng pagkapalan ng Diyos, lalagpas lang din yan, hindi mo masasalo. But when you receive blessing from God, you close it for a while and you learn to share it to somebody else, open ulit yan, you're going to catch again the blessing from God. That's why it is more blessed to give than to receive. Because every now and then you open your hands to the needy, to the poor, you will always experience the new blessings that comes from God. Kaya yung bata na yun, he received more what he had given to the people. 2 isda, tama? At 5 tinapay, and almost 20,000 people nakakain. At mayroon pang sobra, they collected once again. Kaya never be afraid to give in the cause of our God. Amen? Wag kang maramot. Magdamot ka na sa tao, wag lang sa Panginoong Diyos. Okay, and then last story mga kapatid. ito na. It was mentioned there, okay? So, Matthew chapter 11 verse 22, the final story. And this is the declaration of the Lord Jesus Christ to the people here in Chorazin. He said, "Woe unto thee, Chorazin! Woe unto thee, Bethsaida! For if the mighty works which were done in you had been done in Tyre and Sidon," these places are Gentile places, not Jewish or Israelite places. He said, "they would have repented long ago in sackcloth and ashes." What does it mean? Jesus Christ is saying, the Gentile people are more receptive to me than to you, my fellow countrymen. That's why Jesus is saying, if all the miracles that I did in your cities, in your villages, if I performed those miracles to Tyre and Sidon, to the Gentile nations, these people long ago, they believe in me. At hindi sana mararanasan ng mga Gentile nations nito ang punishment and destructions ng Diyos. And there's another text na sinabi ng Panginoon Kristo, if the miracles that He did in Chorazin, in Bethsaida, in Capernaum, kung doon ito ginawa sa Sodom and Gomorrah, the Gentile people in Sodom and Gomorrah would repented compared to the people here in Bethsaida. So, the Gentile, in other words, has an open heart, more open to the Lord Jesus Christ than to the Israelites. And the situation is almost the same right now. They only have 0.05% of Jewish who are believing in Jesus Christ as their Messiah. And the rest rejected Jesus Christ, and they are still waiting for the coming of God. Let's go mga kapatid. Tuda. Okay, ito yung arrow. By the way, ito yung mga universities na kasulat na nagsama-sama sa excavation dito para i-uncover kung ano man yung nangyari dito in the biblical times. Okay? So, naikot tayo. Hip, hip! Ayun. Okay, kung bakit maraming mga bato dito, ito ay galing sa volcanic eruption sa Golan Heights. Okay? Ano na nga yung pangalan ng mataas na bundok doon? Hindi, yung isa pa? Mount Bintal. Yung Mount Bintal ay volcano iyon. Nagkaroon ng eruption noon. Ay ito yung mga bato nakarating dito.
Talaga, ang bilbiling bakti ay o ito yung maubig lang ng sabi namin.
Ancient road. Okay. places. When you hear when you read the word high places, that is the sacrificial area, basically for the pagan worshippers. And that area is this, okay? So they are making the offerings in this area. So this is the storage houses, and they're going to pick up some food dyan, and they're going to bring here for the offerings sa kanilang gods. Dito sa area na yan, okay? So yan. So the inhabitants of the king of Geshur were Arameans, and the high places and ritual objects reflect their religion. On the sacrificial high place were found fragments of basins, poured altars, and incised stone depicting a coaching bull. By the way, meron silang na-uncover dito na ruins. Nandun sa picture kanina, doon sa labas. Yung bull siya na parang mayroong sungay dito. Ang tawag doon sa god niyan ay God of Moon or Moon God. So yung god na kinikilala nila dito ay yung buwan sa lugar nito. Alright, so ito ang village of BETHSAIDA. Okay. Yes, sure, in the Old Testament time, nandun naman yung Sea of Galilee. Tanaw ninyo. So, baka magtaka kayo, Pastor, bakit parang ang layo naman ng Sea of Galilee? So, way back in the Old Testament time, mga kapatid, according sa mga nag-aaral ng geography, the water of Sea of Galilee ay umaabot hanggang sa paanan ng bundok na ito. Malapad yung water level ng Sea of Galilee noon. Kaya mapapasin nyo, kapag summer bumababa, pag winter, medyo tumataas naman na extend yung water level niya. But noon, nung siyempre maayos pa yung sitwasyon noon, so hanggang dyan banda yung water level masyadong malayo. So that's why they are hunting fishes beside the house of hunters or fishermen sa madaling salita. Alright, o yan na, you move around and do some pictures. Okay, not because wala kayo masyadong makita, but because this is being done physical. And by the way, nakalimutan ko, no? Itong mga bato sa ilalim, these are original walls during the Old Testament time, in the time of Jesus Christ. Itong mga ito, outside of this wood, restoration na lang. Mga nalaglag, tapos ibinalik na lang sa taas. Okay? So, ayan. Tapos ito kaya.
Very white. White. So. Kayo ba? Saan po kayo dito ate?
Kapag natapos kayo dito, gusto namin yung i-check natin na para balik doon sa gate natin kanina.